Hey, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Queens. We're excited to be here to celebrate the long-awaited, long-anticipated opening of the Queens Bus Network redesign. I'm Jan Lieber, MTA Chair and CEO. I'm here with Demetrius Critchlow. Where's that handsome man? Oh, there you go. Demetrius Critchlow, the President of New York City Transit, as well as the COO of New York City Transit, Bernard Jackson, a new face you'll be seeing more of. But we have a bevy of elected officials to acknowledge here, and one who's on the way, State Senator Leroy Comrie, who's chair of the Committee of Jurisdiction over the MTA, and a great friend of the MTA, Khalil Anderson, New York State Assembly member. Thank you for being here. Where's your A-Train hat? Where is that A-Train?
I gotta get my A-Train hat.
Claire Valdez, New York State Assembly member, also. Selvina Brooks Powers, council member and chair of the Transportation Committee in the New York City Council. And of course, the one and only Donovan Richards, the Queensborough president, always a friendly host whenever we make it out here. So thank you for all you do and for what all of you do. We've also got the DOT Commissioner, Idanis Rodriguez, is represented by Nicole Garcia. We have other electeds represented as well, and I'm just going to throw Assemblymember Mamdani, heard of him. He's represented here. We have Assemblymember Clyde Vannell represented, Assemblymember Hindman. U.S. Representative Tom Suozzi is Congressman Tom Suozzi, who's obviously doing business elsewhere, is represented here as well as Assemblymember Raga and Councilmember Schulman. All of them here because this is a serious Queens initiative. But whenever I do all the introductions and all the acknowledgments, I cannot fail to recognize the members of the transit advocacy community. This is something New York's got that almost nowhere else has got. Every place has good government groups. In New York, we have fewer than we used to. What we have is transit advocates, and they really have an impact. And I thank all of you. The Tri-State Transportation Campaign, the NYPIRG, the PCAC, Riders Alliance, I don't know if they're here, but they're well known to all of us, the RPA. All of those folks make a huge difference. So, no secret what brings us together here is after 6 years, COVID had an impact on that schedule, but so did an extraordinary sequence of public meetings and back and forth and interactions with the community. Nearly 300 public outreach events. That's what drove the schedule. 20,000 comments from New Yorkers. We're just 3 days out now from the final launch of the Queens Bus Network redesign. This is our most ambitious bus redesign network yet, and for a good reason that this is the big one. Queens is the bus borough. In Queens, there are 800,000 daily bus customers. That is one county. That's as big as any other county in the United States, and it's equivalent of filling Citi Field 19 times over. We're talking real numbers of bus riders in Queens. They need fast and frequent service, and they are going to get it with this redesign. It's why we have increased. Here's a punchline that gets overlooked. This isn't just redesign. We are actually pouring money into Queens buses. 35 million more per year, not a one-time project of 35 million. Every year, 35 million more to make sure that we have a better bus system, improved connections, and most important for a lot of people, increased frequencies. They want to see the bus show up more often. It took 6 years, as I said, to come up with a plan, many rounds of outreach, but I'm pretty sure that it was all worthwhile, and we did get it right. It wasn't easy, but this is another theme that I am emphasizing these days. The MTA, this MTA, we're doing the hard stuff. We do the hard work no matter what the noise is, no matter how much snark our friends in internet land want to provide, and we listen to our customers. We listen to the customers as we go about these major changes that are not without complexity, are not without impact to some people, but are for everybody's long-term good. We listen to the riding public. If buses are too slow, we got to find ways to speed them up, whether it's through a redesign like we're doing here, automated camera enforcement. Folks, people are getting the message. The recidivism in automated camera enforcement is down to the low single digits now. Starts out 20%, people get a second ticket, then they get the message and they stay out of the bus lane. They stay out of the bus stop. They don't park, they don't double park in an area where buses can't get by. So we do the bus lanes, we do the redesign, we do, yes, congestion pricing, and our friends from DOT are going to always hear it from me. We love you, but we always want to remind you, we all still want the number and degree and mileage of bus lanes that is closer to what was promised when candidate Eric Adams started talking about buses 4 years ago. We need more bus lanes. I want to thank everyone at the MTA who has worked so hard on this plan. You know who you are, and there are thousands of you, but a few names. Kate Contino, Darian Statham, Lucille Songhai. A few folks know the very shy Lucille Songhai. Evan Bialotsky, Rick Hayduke, and the entire Queens redesign team. They did all the work, accumulating the comments, reacting to them, interacting with the community. Countless other folks in the MTA, Government and Community Relations, and the Department of Buses, and our comms team. Where is Shanifa Riera? Never in the spotlight. MTA Chief Customer Officer Shanifa Riera leads that crowd. And also thanking the thousands of folks across MTA who signed up for customer ambassador slots. They are going to be on buses and at bus stops throughout, that started already, and throughout the next weeks to make sure that people get face-to-face communications on what's going on. Now, the reason we need face-to-face, thank you to our firefighters and all of our first responders. But the reason we need face-to-face with our customers is that we're not soft pedaling it. There will be people who do not like some aspect of this. We are moving bus stops to make sure they serve more people. We are taking away some bus stops in the interest of having faster rides. Impact to a few, in the interest of the many. That is good government. And the good government benefits of faster, more frequent transit and more direct connections are going to become available over time, but we need to work closely with the community to make sure they deliver. So I want to thank everybody who showed up for this, along with our first responders, and turn it over to Demetrius Critchlow.
Thank you, Chairman. I want to offer my thanks to the people who helped out today. It's been a great partnership with the Department of Transportation. They've partnered on so many different ways, and Commissioner Rodriguez has been a really great partner in making sure we move things along. I actually had the chance to see the DOT staff changing some of the signs firsthand in Jamaica a couple weeks ago. The DOT staff was been out for weeks trying to make sure that we were all prepped and planned around the clock, changing signage, making sure that we were ready for this date, the launch of June 29th. I also want to thank the MTA team. Look, this project has been tremendous. The efforts of operations planning, Department of Buses, Government and Community Relations, and so many others. Sunday marks the day we move from planning to execution. I want to offer a special shout out to our bus operators who are going to be making this new system a reality. We held over 250 events to public feedback, and our bus operators were right there offering comments that we listened to. We want them to know we heard you. And finally, I want to thank the Queens community and our elected officials. This has been a 6-year-long process. We've hosted virtual events, workshops, town halls, just to ensure we get public feedback and that they're part of the process. Ultimately, this network design is meant to serve you. You built this plan. I played football growing up, and we would move the ball up and down the field. There would be peaks and lows and some high moments and some lows, but in the fourth quarter, when time was winding down, that's when it's game time. Well, that's where we are right now. Now is that time. This is the 2-minute warning, and it's drill time, right? We're implementing the most comprehensive bus plan in history. As the chairman said, the Queens Bus Network Redesign will work for 800,000 residents, people who are riding. That rivals Chicago. No offense, Bernard, but one borough rivals Chicago. It's not every day you get to work on a generational change to our system, and our team has been putting on countless hours just to make it happen. The scale of this project is hard to imagine, but we're ready to get it done. Now, we encourage the public, visit our website and use the route lookup tool and the trip planner so riders can see exactly how to commute and how their commute may be changing. At the end of the day, our job at New York City Transit is to move people, not machines. This network will have real benefits for Queens riders. The new rush routes will give people faster commutes with more connections, which can get people to work faster. The streamlined routes will give riders more reliable service, which can help people get to their doctor's appointments. The increased frequency means that buses will arrive more often, allowing families to be able to gather with their loved ones. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to improve transit for Queens, and I can't wait. Thank you. And with that, I turn it over to Leroy Comrie.
But I don't know if we have
was
Senator
here.
It is.
Just saw
There it
him.
is.
Yes. The man who needs no introduction,
In Queens,
Senator
especially.
Comrie.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry I was running late getting here, but I am here. I'm a typical Queens person trying to navigate through these streets. It's difficult, but I wanted to just come and thank everyone that was involved in the Queens bus design. Chair Lieber, the Queens Design Network, all of the people that went to all of the meetings and the charrettes and the opportunities to come out and engage the public. I want to thank all of our elected officials, especially our Borough President Donovan Richards, who worked with us to make sure we held up this plan until we got it to almost where we're 100% happy with it. Queens people can never be happy with everything, so there are things that need to be tinkered with in the plan, but we do have a promise once the plan is implemented that there's an opportunity for tinkering to be done, because we've tried to make this, as President Critchlow just said, this borough's bigger than Chicago. The enormity of this project was difficult, but there was a lot of determination to get it right. So I just want to come and thank everybody, thank DOT, thank all the advocates, and I ask you to continue to advocate as we push to make sure that our public transit system is best in the country. And we can only do that by continuing to work together, by listening and respecting each other's voices to make sure that that happens. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you to our partners here at the MTA for making the bus redesign happen, but also to our advocates. Can we just give them one big round of applause? I'm going to do something a little different, too. I want to just take a moment and see if we can all put our hands together for the planners. And the reason why is I participated in a number of the bus redesign open meetings at Borough Hall with our BP, and in the district in Queens, in my part of the district of Southeast Queens in the Rockaways. And the planners actually took our feedback and tried to make a thing work. You don't see that happen often. So that's why I wanted to give that round of applause to the planners, because that is how we'll make sure that our public transportation is meeting the needs of all New Yorkers and in transit deserts like the ones that I represent. I think the Rockaways is making out in this one here. I found out this morning I got a bus stop, so I'm very excited about I didn't ask for it. It wasn't a favor either. But Beach Channel Drive and Name Oak Street was my high school bus stop, and it continues to be my bus stop. And I'm excited that now, if I want to go up the beach, the 22's right there. If I want to go to Jamaica, the 114's right there. No more two-fare zone. It's a single fare zone for those who are traveling up the peninsula. and those who are traveling to Jamaica. So that's a big plus. I'm also excited about the Q10 extended bus service, which is a big deal for my colleagues and individuals, family members, and representatives who live in South Ozone Park. It's a really exciting thing, and it's my hope that over the summer, as you all join us for our mobile office hours, that we'll be able to educate the community on the changes. Yes, some folks may be upset that their normal bus stop that they've been using for 10 or 20 years is no longer there, but it means better service for all of us, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful to our transportation chair, Councilwoman, giving her a promotion, Councilwoman Brooks Powers, for her advocacy in making sure this bus redesign was good for the Rockaways, good for Southeast Queens, and good for all of Queens. Thank you so much, Jano, and to your team. I'm going to step back and increase the next speaker. Thank you all so much.
Okay, hello. It's really wonderful to be here with so many of my partners in government and so many wonderful advocates as well who I know have been pushing for not just this redesign, but for equitable transit, mass transit across New York City and across New York State. I'm Claire Valdez. I represent District 37, and the Q39 is my daily commute back and forth. It is the only mass transit option to get from Ridgewood up to Long Island City directly. And I rely on it every day. It is true that my bus stop has been eliminated. But, like so many others, I'm happy to walk an extra block if it means that our buses will be more reliable and faster. Our bus system in Queens really is the beating heart of so many working class people's daily lives. And we have to remember, too, that equitable and reliable and affordable mass transit is a disability rights issue. It is a climate justice issue. Getting more people out of cars and into public transit is one way that we can fight climate chaos, and making sure that every single person is able to get where they need to go safely and reliably is so important to everything that everyone up here does every day. So I want to commend the MTA and the DOT and all the people who have been involved in this many years long process. I deeply appreciate the community feedback and the opportunity to give more as this process rolls out, and offer that our office will be a resource as people begin to navigate the new system. I'm incredibly excited about this new phase. Queens is once again leading the way, and I'm really grateful for that.
All righty, are we ready for better buses and faster commutes or what? All right, Queens, and I really want to take this opportunity because we did start this process prior to COVID, and I can tell you the first iteration of this plan was trash. But we've come a long way. Give it up for the MTA. Jen Oliva, we got it as right as much as we can. Demetrius, to Bernard, and I got to acknowledge Lucille. Let's give it up for Lucille. We give her hell. Today you get your flowers. I don't know how you do it. It's like being borough president almost. But let me say this. When you have 800,000 daily bus riders in Queens, you're going to have 800,000 different opinions. And once again, this was a job well done. And this is going to be as good as a plan as it can be. It's going to be perfectly imperfect. But as Senator Comrie alluded to, we will have the opportunity to revise this plan. So now that's all left to do is to hit that switch and put this redesign into motion. To everyone listening out there, you can get informed by heading to mta.info/QueensBus, but you can also go to your bus stop and take your camera out on your phone and press that your button too. And go there, look up your route, see how it might be changing, and learn how much faster of a commute you're going to have. Because at the end of the day, no one, no matter your socioeconomic status, your zip code, should be enforced to endure long wait times, slow commute times, and packed buses. But that's changing because we got a $35 million investment. Let's give it up. A continuous $35 million investment in the redesign plan. And this is what we alluded to when we said congestion pricing needs to work for the outer boroughs especially. So whether you're going home to work or school or anywhere in between, you deserve a system that gets you there as fast as possible. And even as I allude to growth in Queens, you know, historically, our routes have not kept up with the pace of growth, as I have my hearing in Long Island City with 100 people testifying today on the growth that will happen there, almost 15,000 additional units. Downtown Jamaica, another additional almost 15,000 units. So Queens is getting real affordable housing. We're growing, and with that we need to keep pace with our transportation system as well. So this redesign is a massive step forward for all of us bus riders in Queens. Investing in public transit has never been more important, and I'm proud of the work that we all have done. And let's give it up for my colleagues, the elected officials as well, who really have listened to their communities, our community boards. Where would we be without our advocates? Thank you so much for holding us accountable. So here's to a smooth rollout. Toast to a new bus redesign that will really move Queens into the future. Queens, get the money. Everybody get on board. I got to get back to my hearing. God bless you all.
Council member, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Not really for the vertically challenged here, but good afternoon, everyone. I am Councilwoman Sylvina Brooks Powers, proud to represent Southeast Queens and to serve as the chair of the Council's Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure. Thank you, Chair Libra, President Critchlow, Queens Commissioner Garcia, all of my partners in government, the elected officials here. I see Southeast Queens is well represented. I think we may have almost quorum here, which shows how important our public transportation network truly is. I'm so thankful for the collaboration that was able to take place on this bus redesign, and Lucille herding cats with all of us. We thank you. This redesign is a significant undertaking, one that impacts hundreds of thousands of riders who depend on bus service every single day. For many communities in Southeast Queens, buses are the only form of accessible public transit. That's why this process must always be guided by equity, accessibility, and responsiveness to rider experience. I appreciate the MTA's engagement with the elected officials, community boards, and our transit advocates throughout this process. But as this first phase rolls out, our work isn't done. Implementation matters just as much as planning, and I'll be closely monitoring service changes to ensure that community feedback is reflected, that underserved neighborhoods aren't left behind, and that adjustments are made when needed. So let's continue to work together across agencies and across communities to deliver a transit network that's faster, fairer, and more responsive for all New Yorkers. Thank you so much.
Okay, how long till I get the free bus pass?
All right, we're going to get to questions from the press. I love, by the way, we had two charter members of the Lucille Songheifer Borough President Exploratory Committee here. That is absolutely astounding, but wonderful, all at the same time. Let's start the questioning today with Evan Simcoe Bednarski of your New York Daily News. Evan.
Hey, Jenna. So, as was mentioned a couple times up here, this was a long process. It was a 6-year process. There was, a lot of start and stop. Queens is unique, but this is a process that is about to really kick into gear in Brooklyn as well. What have you learned from this process? What's going to be done differently in Brooklyn to streamline it?
So, part of the reason that Queens took so long is at the beginning, my predecessor took the position that this the MTA, that we were, they imposed what I, in retrospect, we believe was an artificial constraint on it. We said, no, we're going to figure out, we have to make the system affordable, because affordability is the issue for everybody in New York, but first and foremost, we have to figure out what's the right system in terms of routes and frequencies and service. So that is the fundamental difference. We've learned. I think we have gotten better at the process of interacting. Like we understand, how to conduct both workshops with very technical material and sessions with community boards and regular members of the public, and how to work with planners on all sides, how to work with electeds. I'm hopeful that Brooklyn will go a little bit faster, but just bear in mind that it was really only 3 years since we got this thing started in earnest with the cost unconstrained version that began after COVID started to wind down.
All right, let's continue with Samantha Liebman from New York 1. Sam.
Speaking of affordability, I just want to come back to the fare hike. And I'm just wondering if you're thinking about...
Let me just ask, anything else on topic before we jump the rails?
No.
Okay, please
Okay,
proceed.
sorry.
Okay, and elected officials are entitled to run away when we go off topic if they want. But,
are you thinking about maybe waiting until Omni is fully implemented and the Metro card is phased out to actually implement the fare hike, so not so much change is going on all at once, and maybe you figure out some more discounts for Omni?
I've never been called a man of few words, but the answer is yes. We are thinking of eliminating the complexity of trying to do fare changes separate from the big change in our fare payment system that's coming, which is the retirement of the Metro card.
So we may not see a fare hike until next year.
Well, we have to go through it with our board, and we have to look at the story. But the issue you raised is a real one.
All right, on to Stephanos Chen of The New York Times.
Hey, Jano. This is a really impressive plan, obviously many years in the making. But the point that $35 million has been invested here, I hear a lot of large numbers about how this plan came together. There is this plan by Zoran Mamdani, who has mentioned the free bus as one of the 10 poles of his campaign for mayor. How might that work? Would the MTA get behind a plan in which you have so many other things going on trying to prevent fare evasion and to make sure that fare box revenue is up? What happens with that plan, and how does it cohere with this?
Listen, I think it's premature to talk about the specifics. What I said yesterday, and I really believe it, is the outcome of the election that took place on Tuesday. One major outcome is transit won across the board. All of the people who won are big supporters of transit, and I welcome the fact that there are major candidates who are winning, who are pushing new ideas about how to make transit better. I'm very proud of the affordability of transit today, and the way that we have successfully targeted affordability initiatives at the folks at the bottom of at the lower end of the economic ladder. But we're obviously going to be talking about lots of initiatives this pro-transit elected group that was so successful on Tuesday is raising.
So short of an endorsement of that program, they did not. Exactly.
I think you heard what I said. You're really good at figuring out what to write about it.
All right, thanks everybody. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
We have for those dozens of newsrooms watching on the live stream, we have a B-roll package that we are going to feed right now, and then on to the start of the Queens Bus Network redesign on June 29. It's coming Sunday.